Man City v Arsenal best odds plus Leicester v Man United tips and Paul Pogba in a 33-1 shot. How did that happen? And that? And that? The Premier League put on a freaky midweek show with Manchester City losing at Newcastle, Liverpool failing to beat Leicester and only two of the Big Six posting wins. Rio Ferdinand is blaming nerves for Liverpool's slip anyway, as the title run-in hots up and there's some interesting matchups in the latest round of top-flight fixtures, at both ends of the table. Here's our game-by-game betting guide. Newcastle played well against Manchester City in midweek. Very well in fact, which was a big enough surprise, before the full-time results shocked everyone even more. Leading up to Tuesday night, Rafa Benitez had lost every game against the top six this season, but only Liverpool at Anfield dished out a hammering. Narrow defeats were most common, and Saturday's early kickoff looks like reverting to type with Son Heung-min. It's backfiring for Spurs, whoare still without Harry Kane but will have a bit of momentum after their late show against Watford. The hosts are no better than 9.20, BetVictor, but they are 6/4 to win 1-0. 2-0 or 2-1, Sky Bet. Son is 4-1 with a few firms for the first goal. It would be wrong to let Watford's midweek defeat put you off backing them on the road again. They led Tottenham until the 80th minute at Wembley before a late comeback inflicted a first defeat in 7 on Javi Gracia and just a second in 11 in all competitions. They're 2-1 to win at the Annex, but they'll have to stop Glenn Murray. The Seagulls striker ended a 9-match dry spell with a double and defeat at Fulham to take his season's tally to double figures. 7 of his 10 have been at home, and he's worth backing for another one. At the opposite end, it's hard to see his teammates keeping out the Hornets, so Murray and Troy Deeney both to score. 9-1, appeals. Burnley will be kicking themselves after throwing away a 2-goal lead at Old Trafford in midweek, but should be bouncing, as the point means that over the 5 games played since they were spanked by Everton, only Manchester United and Manchester City have a better points total than their 11. Meanwhile, Southampton aren't doing too bad either, considering how low they were earlier in the season. Tuesday's draw with Palace was their 4th in a row without loss, and they're on the same points as Burnley, a place better off on goal difference. That should still be the case at 5 p.m. on Saturday. Any score draw is 18-5, BetVictor. You get the feeling if Maurizio Sarri was to lose his next game after that 4-0 mauling at Bournemouth, he'd be out the door quicker than you could say '7 halves. I thought he would be shorter. That's the odds on the Italian being the next top-flight boss out of a job. Claude Puel is the favorite, 8-11 in some places. Wednesday night's horror show was Chelsea's heaviest league defeat since 1996 and the first by 4 goals in the era of the famously trigger-happy Roman Abramovich. Also, Antonio Conte had 3 more points at this stage last season. It was their worst display of the season at the Vitality, and if there's a positive, it's that they can't be that bad again. If there's another one, it's that Huddersfield are up next. They lost, again, to a less than impressive Everton and look well and truly doomed. Chelsea are skinny, very skinny, but you can get 3-1, bet 365, they win by 2 goals. Wilfried Zaha ended a monster 18-game stretch without a goal in Palace's draw with Southampton, and then scuppered any chance he had of going on a run by getting himself sent off and banned shortly before full-time. Remember when Palace simply couldn't win without him? It wasn't that long ago. Fulham's Aleksandar Mitrovic ended his own mini-drought with 2 against Brighton and should be backed for more at Selhurst Park. He's 6-1 for the first goal, 2-1 at any time, or you can get 8-1, Sky Bet, he scores and the match finishes all square. Everton normally beat newly promoted teams at Goodison. They've won 18 of the last 21 games played against newbies. The problem for them is that Wolves look nothing like a team heading straight back to where they came from. They're 7th, a place above Everton, and coming off the back of a thumping win against West Ham. There's only 2 points between them, and they've had similar seasons. This is another one that's hard to call, but both teams to score looks a sure thing at 5-6, while any score draw is 18-5. Cardiff started the season by losing to Bournemouth, a result that sparked a 9-match run without a victory. They're now on their second worst stretch of the campaign, and defeat or a draw at home to the Cherries will make it 6 without a victory for Neil Warnock. That's the most likely outcome, with the Cherries flying after that storming win over Chelsea, and at 7-5 are worth sticking on an Ika. Josh King scored twice against the Blues in the absence of the injured Callum Wilson, and the Norwegian is 7-1 for the opener, or 12-5 at any time, and 4-1 in the score win double. Ryan Fraser is 10-1, first, 3-1, any, or 5-1, score win. The slip had to come at some point for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but now it's out of the way. Man United are worth backing to return to winning ways. They're better than evens with most bookies against a Leicester side who held Liverpool in midweek but are without a win in their last 4 in all competitions, a run of games where Newport, Southampton and Wolves provided the opposition before the Reds. United to win with both teams scoring is 29/10, and there's also some fun to be had with the Bet365 bet builder. Paul Pogba, 6 in his last 7 games, to score at any time. Luke Shaw, United's most booked player, to pick up a yellow card, over 3 total goals in the game, and United to win returns 33-1. There's no question Arsenal have toughened up, at least a little bit. Just look at their recent wins over Chelsea and Manchester United. They're also back in the top 4, have boosted their ranks with former City youngster Denis Suarez, and since losing to Sunday's opponents on the opening weekend of the season, they've not been beaten at the Emirates Stadium in the league. Away, it's a slightly different story. A December defeat at Southampton brought their long unbeaten run to a halt, and since then they've lost at Liverpool and West Ham and drawn at Brighton. City had a bit of a let-off when Liverpool failed to beat Leicester in midweek, and Pep Guardiola, who cut an angry, frustrated figure against Newcastle, will demand they bounce back and take advantage. They've still got more wins and more goals than all of their rivals at home, and are 1/3 to win or 7-5 to win, with both teams scoring. 4 is the magic number when these two come together. In the last 4 meetings Liverpool have scored 4 goals, 2 4-1 wins and a couple finishing 4-0. Rio reckons nerves are kicking in early for Liverpool, and his old club will be hoping he's right. But West Ham were woeful at Wolves and didn't manage a single shot on target for the first time in more than a year. Mohamed Salah needs 2 goals to reach 50 for Liverpool in the Premier League and would become the fastest player to hit the milestone for one club, 61 games. He's 15 fourths to grab at least a double, but you can get 17 halves for Virgil van Dijk to score at any time. And he wears no 4. Homes: Man City, Bristol City, Millwall, Wickham, Mansfield. 15-1 Marathon aways: Bournemouth, Blackburn, Lincoln, Ross County. 45-1 several firms draws: Brighton v Watford, Wigan v QPR, Exeter v MK Dons. 37-1 widely available anytime scorer: Murray, Mitrovic and King. 22-1 Boyle Sports both teams to score first half: Everton v Wolves, Reading v Aston Villa. 21 Coral, Ladbrokes from oddschecker.com.